let's go. Yeah.
For this play, this is where we wanted it.
Back, looks, throws, ends up. Yes! Caught! Touchdown, Detroit Lions! They did it! Let's go! Oh, my goodness!
The Lions picked up their most dominating win of this season in Week 13, and we're talking all about it here on Inside the Pride, presented by Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort and airing on the Lions TV network. I'm your host, Dannie Rogers. The Lions are playing meaningful games here in December after picking up a 40-14 win over the Jacksonville Jaguars. Their playoff hopes are still alive. Head coach Dan Campbell will help us break down that win and look ahead to an NFC North showdown with the Vikings. Plus, hear from wide receiver DJ Chark in our player interview. First, let's head out to Ford Field to relive the sights and sounds from win number 5.
The Lions are back home, getting set to go against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Get a win today, 4 out of 5 doesn't sound so bad. So, here we go.
Let's go, brother. Hold out, man.
Nobody in the world believes them. They gonna find out today. Yeah, they gonna find out today.
It's a big game because both these teams are trying to get some traction. Lions won the toss, they defer. Jacksonville will get it first. TJ, what are you looking for early?
I just want to see this defense continue to play the way they have the last month and really go out here on this first drive and set the tone.
Lawrence gives the ETN over the left side. Big hole, gets to the 30, 35-yard line. Hit and stopped by Deshaun Elliott. Their ball came out, 3 on the ground. There is a pile, and somebody's got it at the bottom. Malcolm Rodriguez says Detroit does, and they do. A big takeaway early by that Lion defense. Yeah. Goff takes, hands to Jamal, right side, end zone. Touchdown, Detroit Lions. That's the way you start a ball game. Defensive takeaway, the offense marches right down the field, and they put 6 on the board.
We got to score all day. It's too easy.
Goff takes the snap, wants to throw again. Goff back, looking, throwing deep right side. Got Chark out there. Chark inside the 15, makes the grab. That was good coverage, but Goff dropped it in the bucket that time. Goff takes, fakes the give to Williams, sets in the pocket, looks, corner of the end zone, throws, caught, touchdown, Detroit Lions, Amon-Ra St. Brown. Snap, spot, kick away, it is up, and it is good. Badgley sends it through. He's 3 for 3 on the day, and the Lions extend their lead. It is now Detroit 23 and Jacksonville 6. There it is, Lawrence back. Lawrence looking, hit, sack from behind, taken down back at the 32-yard line. James Houston got him. That is number 3 for the rookie in his second game. 23-6, Lions on top as we start the third quarter. Leans in, there's the snap. Hands it to Swift, straight up the gut, 5, spinning at the 2. Did he get in? No, they'll say down just outside the end zone. It'll be 3rd and goal from inside the 1. Goff takes the snap, turns, gives it to Swift, running right, spins out of 1 tackle, trying to get to the edge, works his way, dives, did he get in? Yes, sir! He won it, got the ball across, and the Lions are on the board again. Out of the gun, it's Lawrence. ETN to his right. Lawrence has got it, wants to throw. Lawrence pressure from behind. Hit, sack. Aiden Hutchinson, first man there.
ETN is smothered by Alex Anzalone.
Goff up under center, turns, fakes the give to Swift, throws, end zone wide open. Amon-Ra St. Brown. Touchdown, Detroit Lions. Take a snap, take a knee, ball game. 2 teams will meet out in the middle of the field to say job well done, job better done on this day by the Detroit Lions. They win it by a score of 40-14.
That was the best game we played all year, gentlemen. That was the best game. We are playing our best football right now. It's 5 weeks in a row now. We're playing our best football, and we're in December. That's a credit to you guys. I know what we are, man. I know what we are. You should know what you are. We talked about the skill players. You had to own it today, man. You had to rise up. Receivers and DBs. Our quarterback now. Okay, now, we're 1-0. We are in a 6-game season to this point. We're 1-0. I'm going to leave it at that. I'm going to leave it at that. All right, break it down, baby. Break it down.
Break it down, Look out, boy. Hey, family on 3. 1, 2, 3. Family.
The Lions offense scored on all 8 possessions, the first NFL team to do that in a regular season game in 4 years. Receiver DJ Chark played a role in that against his former team, the Jaguars. Hear from him next. And Sunday was special for a number of reasons. It was also the celebration of My Cause, My Cleats, a league-wide initiative where players sport causes that are near and dear to them.
Whoa! Ooh. Oh, sweet.
We'll get an up-close look at some Lions cleats coming up next. Inside the Pride is presented by Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort and sponsored by Priority Health, Kroger, and by Henry Ford Health.
Whoa! Ooh. Oh, sweet. Oh, yeah. These are nice.
I mean, that looks just identical. Yeah, it's my grandma. She had passed away from cancer here recently. Actually, the day I got drafted, I was at her funeral, so this means a lot to represent her. I love you, Grandma.
Chose the Michigan Heroes Museum. Their goal is to honor and respect those in the state of Michigan that have given everything, making sure that those folks feel remembered and appreciated.
My cause is farm. I've been working with Mr. Bell for a few years now, and I'm so proud of the work he's done with fathers and men, just teaching them, life skills and all kind of things to make them better men.
Essentially, Project Empower is a program that teaches self-defense, it teaches yoga, it teaches meditation to survivors of human trafficking.
I'm doing it for my mom. She died when I was 9 years old to pneumonia. Just ready to go out there and put these things on, so I love you, Mom, and this for you.
You landed back on IR this season, unfortunately dealing with a foot injury. What was the biggest motivation to get off IR and get back in the game?
It was a tough little period of time, but then, things picked up, we started winning, and, I see my teammates going out there, giving it all they have, and I was just like, after that, no matter what, I want to get out there and get to playing with these guys, I have the chance. So that's really the biggest motivation.
98 receiving yards against Jacksonville, and then you're handed the game ball after the game by head coach Dan Campbell. What was going through your mind as he was building up the anticipation to hand out that game ball, and then it went to you?
At first I was thinking maybe one of the coaches, and then, when he was talking about playing your old team, it just felt great, being the guest captain this week. My teammates really embraced me. And, all through the week, the guys was telling me they can't wait to see me play, and they hope I, do really good, while I was still just focusing on being able to play. But to see all of it, come full circle like that, it was a really great moment for me. One of the best moments in my career, I would say.
You're a part of this offense that is clicking, scoring on all 8 possessions. The first team to do that in the regular season in 4 years in the National Football League. Every offensive player noted that there were no punts. How much is this offense clicking together and in sync?
I went out early, pretty early in the year. Saint missed a game or two. Swift dealing with injury. J-Ray dealing with injury, so this team really been resilient, and, no matter who's playing, next man up mentality, but it's good that we all getting back together and starting to get healthier and be able to play again, because these are the guys that, we was going to battle with in training camp when we felt like we was clicking then as well.
You've had to balance a lot yourself coming into this new team, this new season, battling the injury bug, but you have baby boy at home too. So 2 babies at home. How do you balance life now as a dad of 2?
It gives me some relief, from football. Yesterday after the game, I'm doing bath time with my daughter and reading her books for bedtime. And then, you switch over to my son who's just awake staring at you. And you embrace those moments, and I've been enjoying it. It gives me something else outside of football to look forward to. It's been very helpful for me, actually.
I know your mind will be on those Minnesota Vikings who are on the clock, 10-2, a big NFC North matchup. How much is riding on this game against the Vikings here at Ford Field come Sunday?
I think obviously a lot is, but I feel like the guys in this room, we played them week 3, and it was a good game. Unfortunately, we didn't win, But, you know, we get another chance at home. I feel like we play much better at home. We've been doing well away too, but at home it's been feeling, you know, like home. So, you know, we have that advantage, and we know they're going to come in and be a great team, but at the end of the day, if we execute, you know, no telling how high we can go.
Welcome back to Inside the Pride. I'm now joined by the head coach, Dan Campbell. After week 13, you rattled off a whole list of things that your team did well in that win against the Jags. What's the number one thing you're most proud of your team for doing?
Look, I think that we came out early in that game and we set the tone for the game, the tempo, the tone, and we never let off the gas. That's really where I was most proud of our guys. You could tell they were ready to go and they never let up.
Looking ahead to week 14, a 10-win Minnesota team is coming to Detroit. It feels like a different offense that we are talking about compared to week 3 when you last played them. Justin Jefferson, just 14 yards against your defense. He's put up 300 yards over the last 2 games. Why is he one of the best receivers in the league right now?
Yeah, well, there's multiple reasons that we all know that he's very talented. This guy is a ultra competitive player, and he's very instinctive, and I think he's tough too. Now, this is 4th and a mile. There's no way you don't get off the field here. He's throwing into, you could argue it's triple coverage if you want, but the point is they're in good position. And I mean, he's got 2 hands on this ball, and Jefferson just goes up with one and just takes it right out of his hand, rips it down, tucks it. I think this guy is arguably, you know, the best receiver in football right now, just top to bottom. He's certainly one of the best.
Another weapon in this Minnesota offense is running back Dalvin Cook. He's averaging 77 rushing yards a game. How do you contain Cook?
Yeah, well, we say it every week, you know, the run game's important, but this guy's, he's very dangerous. And, you know, you get him to the line of scrimmage pretty clean here where the second level players are 3, 4, 5 yards off. Good luck. This is where he's very dangerous. We got to be able to squeeze on the perimeter. We got to be gapped out, and then you got to gang tackle this guy, because this is what happens when you don't. He hits a crease, and he's got the speed to take it all the way to the distance here.
I know your offense is on high alert for linebacker Zadarius Smith. 9.5 sacks this season. When he's not getting sacks, he's generating pressure, QB hits, passes defended. What does your offense need to be on high alert for when it comes to Smith?
Boy, we have to pay attention to where he's at. You know, we may need to turn his way a little bit, but they look at him and say, all right, where's our best matchup? And that's where they'll move him to on 3rd downs. And so here they feel like, hey, let's put him over the left guard on their offense, because these are the type of things he can do, man. He can win in a hurry. He can win with speed. And what makes him dangerous, too, is the fact he's a very powerful player. And so when you see him coming, you want to just anchor immediately and get ready to take on a bull rush, and then all of a sudden he does this to you because he's quick enough to do it, and that's where you get in trouble. So he's a dynamic pass rusher.
Certainly is. All right, after week 13, win against the Jags, you said your team is in a 6-game season. They've got 1 win down. What kind of momentum does this team have going into the rest of the 5 games of the season, and namely against the Vikings?
Well, I think we have a lot of momentum, but really over the last 5 weeks, we've just continued to get better. Even the Buffalo game, I felt like we've improved. And so as long as we're continuing on this trajectory, we're slowly improving. Man, I like where we're at. I like our momentum. I think it's real, and so we have to continue to do that. You can't turn the ball over. You got to get takeaways, reduce the penalties, and I feel like we match up pretty well.
The Detroit Lions kick off against the 10-2 Minnesota Vikings inside Ford Field this Sunday at 1 p.m. airing on Fox. Inside the Pride, presented by Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort, is taking a break. Up next, we feature Lions legend William White. We'll be right back.
Chris Spillman, on behalf of the Lions organization, it's a privilege to welcome you into the pride of the Lions.
If you just give me 1 minute, I'm standing here beside the man who was in a fight. To my friend and to my brother, this is not my moment, this is our moment. William White.
He was everything you wanted in a player. He gave it all to the game. He gave it to his teammates and understood that winning meant everything. And he did everything he could to do it.
Look, you never know what you're going to get in the draft. 1988, the Lions' first pick was a safety, Benny Blades from Miami of Florida. Second round was a linebacker named Chris Spielman, one of my all-time favorite players, tremendous football player. And there in the fourth round is William White, a safety. A good guy. He looked like a good pick, and he was from Ohio State, a teammate, best known for being a teammate. Chris Spielman, probably not for anything that we thought of what he did at Ohio State, but he had something.
I was excited. I think William was upset. And like all competitors, you felt like everybody missed out on me. So we came into Detroit, both of us, with a chip on our shoulder. When he ended up starting, had the ability to make sure that there was no mental mistakes in the back end. William was probably, over all my years of playing football, one of the smartest football players. And when you're smart, you're trustworthy. And that gave William, I think, an edge.
You looked at him, smaller stature and size, but big in heart. He wouldn't turn down anything.
Intercepted by William White. Touchdown, Detroit.
William could hit, man. A missile, and he could cover, too.
He was a good player. He had statistics. He had 5 interceptions one year, 4 another year.
He was a natural-born leader. And a lot of times, like, it's not what you say, it's what you do. He did that by example more than what he said. Guys like William White, that's the reason why we were able to have so much success back in the 90s, was because of a guy like William White. His selflessness that he brought to the team, that's what helped us do some of the things that we did.
Picked off! William White at the 30, back to the 20, to the 15, to the 10. Touchdown, Lions! As William White has scored.
William White, a 4th-round draft pick for the Lions in 1988, became a mainstay for the Detroit secondary over 6 seasons. White sadly lost his battle with ALS this past July. We're honoring White here in our Lions Legend series. Inside the Pride, we'll be right back. Before we wrap up another week of Inside the Pride, it is time for Rogers Retweets, where I retweet some of my favorite social media posts from this past week. And I can remember my first game as a Detroit Lions fan. I was about 20 years old. My dad was very late to the scene. However, Ellis got a good head start on this. He was able to watch his first Detroit Lions game inside Ford Field. And what a better game for Ellis to go to. Detroit Lions just giving a good old-fashioned smackdown on the Jacksonville Jaguars. Shout out to Ellis. This is one of my favorite parts from week 13. After the game, the Harrison family waved me over to the stands. If you notice, Mom is in a Jags shirt, Dad is in a Lions jersey, and whichever team won would get the fandom of 3-month-old baby Marshall, who was pretty much sleeping the entire game. That doesn't matter. Lions win. Baby Marshall, welcome to the den. And last but certainly not least, it was my Cause My Cleats at the game Sunday. This is my very own pair, and I was sporting the Pure Heart Foundation. Thanks to Comerica Bank for making this possible. Detroit Lions will match every dollar up to $100,000 that's donated to the Pure Heart Foundation, which holistically supports children whose parents are incarcerated. A really, really cool foundation. I urge everyone to check it out. That wraps up Rogers Retweets. Before we go, we have a really awesome feel-good story for you guys. The Detroit Lions with the Make-A-Wish Foundation. Check it out.
Really love this team, I really love watching them play every Sunday. I feel really good. I feel really good about this. It's really exciting to be here, really exciting.
I got inducted into what they call the Ring of Honor. I got this cool plaque, and so I wanted you to have it.
Awesome. We need to get a big win tomorrow, that's right. All right. Family on 3. 1, 2, 3. What's up? How you doing? Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you.
Yes, sir. Nice to meet you, bro.
Nice to meet you.
I appreciate it, man. Give me a hand.
Yeah, appreciate you, guy.
What do you want, heads or tails?
See, I'm more of a tails type of person.
Okay.